Shonen has been a massive influence in pop culture here in the West since the days of primetime Toonami back in the early 2000s. I'm sure a lot of us grew up watching things like Naruto, Bleach, Dragon Ball Z. The impact that these shows had on kids from that era has gone on to shape art and storytelling as we know it today in shows like Arcane, Boondocks, and many, many more. But we all knew that. What I'm here to talk to you guys about today is that I think Shonen is honestly really good for kids that are growing up. Shonen is defined as a genre of Japanese comics and animated films aimed primarily at young male audiences, typically characterized by action-filled plots with the female equivalent of this being shoujo, with shows like Sailor Moon, for example. But I don't think that these shows need to necessarily be gender exclusive, because those kind of shows all have themes that I think kids need to embody as they grow up. It's no secret that Shonen is riddled with themes of friendship, with some anime fairy tale excessively pushing the theme to the point where, yes, it can be a little nauseating, but I'm a grown man, and it's not necessarily pointed at me, even though there's an absurd amount of fan service in the show for, like, no fucking reason, dude. I think for a growing kid, it's very important to learn about the concept of friendship and what it means to be a ride or die for your day ones, you know? For your homies. The ones that are the closest to you. Let's use Luffy as an example. Ah yes, we all know Luffy. Funny, stretchy rubber man. He goes boing and you stretch it. Here is a man so loyal to his friends that he would literally fight the fucking government just to save one of them. This is further emphasized during the Sabaody arc, where Luffy's friends are taken from him one by one, and he does everything in his power at the time to try and save them, only to be broken up and devastated that he couldn't. He's a real one for that. I think it's extremely important for kids to learn that having friends is essential, and honestly, it's a necessary part of growing up as well. Shit, I still have friends from high school, middle school, elementary school that I still fuck with to this day, and I would do anything for them if they needed help, and the important thing is knowing that they'll do the same for me. Which brings me to my next point. It's nice to have friends that have your back through thick and thin, but what about friends who treat you like complete shit, backstab you, literally, or flat out just try to kill you? Ah yes, the shitty person archetype. A common trope of Shonen is having that one guy who's just a dick. Wants nothing to do with the main character, and is overall just an ungrateful fucking piece of garbo, bro. They are like this despite the main character giving their heart and soul to this shit character, but that's okay. It feels like this character exists both to show kids that loyalty is a golden characteristic, and that it should be treasured, because a lot of people just aren't the same way. A lot of people just aren't fucking loyal out here. But it also shows you that going so far for a person just sometimes isn't really all that worth it, because they may end up hurting you and those around you for selfish reasons. This is something I'm sure you guys could probably relate to. You could probably relate to having that one person who just isn't the best person to you. The feeling of putting all of that love, compassion, and energy into someone just for them to spit back in your face is a tough thing to come back from, and something that I just feel is a necessary part of life for people to experience, funny enough, because it teaches you who you really shouldn't fuck with and who you should put your time into for real. In life, there is this thing that we all experience, whether we want to or not, and this is one of the things that we always experience, whether we want to or not, on this video. I'm talking about people. Man, people kind of fucking suck. Just how it is. The reality of life is that not everyone is going to be on your side, and people will do things to deliberately fuck you over, oftentimes with no remorse. Of course, not everybody is like this. I'd like to think that most people have the good faith in them to just not be a piece of shit, but some people just let it show a little too much, you know? Oftentimes in Shonen, you'll have a protagonist who is just not liked by anyone for arbitrary reasons. I mean, Naruto for his nine-tailed fox powers, Suna from Hitman Reborn just being the fucking moron of the class pretty much. People really be on some shit until you prove it to them, and in real life, People will just not like you for very surface level things like your skin tone, or your fucking the way you talk, or the way you dress, or anything. The people who know you and fuck with you are the ones that matter, though. Not these nobodies who, don't really fuck with you because you have something that they don't, If there's any trope in anime that is pretty much consistent, it's that a lot of them have training arcs and character growth everywhere. Naruto training for Satan. Gon and Kilo learning the fundamentals of Nen. Asta literally coming back buff as fuck, boy. God damn. Deku having to train his body so he literally doesn't just accidentally kill himself. Or, of course, Goku. Constantly and consistently training just to be a better fighter the next day. I could go on and on and on and on and on with examples, but we'd be here all day. Harder work is constantly showcased in Shonen, and despite a lot of protagonists having a sort of cheat code to be better, it's very evident that the characters in question would not be anywhere near what they are as we know them now, without them putting in the time, the effort, the cold, hard blood, sweat, and tears, all that shit, putting in the work. Grinding that shit on the grind every day, get the bag. Parallel this to reality where there's a lot of people who have high aspirations but don't do anything to pursue them. And this is a common thing, especially with the ongoing and worsening mental health crisis that many of us today are going through. I'm sure you guys know of someone who suffers from strong depression, or shit, it might even be yourself. It can feel impossible to pull yourself through hard times, but you can do it. I believe in you. Believe in the me that believes in you. That being said, teaching kids that if you put in the time and the effort for something you really truly want, especially being in your late childhood to teenage years, then you will almost always see mountains of success in the endeavors you're trying to pursue. And having something like Shonen where kids can watch these characters grow and evolve because of the work they put in, it's bound to have a positive effect on the kids that are watching these shows. Put in the work. I want that man to grind. I want him to grind, man. I want my baby to be good at that shit. So you got a new protagonist, huh? Oh yeah, he's got to be a little different. They all got to be a little different. It's no secret that Shonen protagonists are different from everyone else around them. I mean, there's even memes about, hey, how can you tell that the protagonist is here, huh? Let's look at some examples. Ichigo being able to talk to ghosts. Yusuke being an asshole, but being kind of cool. Or even the Elric brothers, who literally wear their sins on their bodies. Or in Alphonse's case, his body is kind of a living proof of the sin. Being different is an extremely common theme in shonen anime. It just is. It's one of those fucking tried and true tropes. But it shows kids that despite your flaws and quirks, or lack thereof, there will always be someone who fucks with you. You gotta wear those quirks on your sleeve and be proud of who you are. I'm proud of who you are. I want to get real personal for this one. Loss. No matter who you are on this planet, you will face loss, and it will be inevitable. Shonen is kind of known for having characters die, only to be brought back later down the line. That being said, when a show like this eventually takes someone from you, they make it count. As I said before, loss is an inevitable thing for everyone alive, and to see these characters go through these hardships only to come out a better, or sometimes worse character, is a really good way of showcasing these feelings and how people handle them differently. Let's take a look at the death of Jiraiya and how that impacted Naruto. Not only are we forced to see the brutal execution, but seeing Naruto himself devastated at the loss of his master and one of the few people who pretty much helped raise him is heart-wrenching. His only choice now is to accept what happened and move on to the matters at hand and handle business, as they say. But to be real, I was watching back through that Jiraiya shit, man. I actually had me tearing up a little bit, man. I feel that shit. Oh God, I feel that shit, boy. On the flip side, with the death of Itachi and the events that came after that, Sasuke went fucking crazy, bro. Like straight up American Psycho. Like bro just wants death, wants that head, bro. He's trying to be Kendrick to the goddamn Leaf Village. Bro, it ain't worth it, bro. Chill, bro. But it's interesting to see, like, how far a man falls and how he can kind of relate that to reality, where when people do lose things like this, they have a hard time letting go of feelings of resentment, hatred, or what have you. I think a show like Attack on Titan is a very great shining example of loss, especially loss in order to gain something. From reclaiming the walls to surveying the outside, every step towards a better future brought loss and suffering. From episode 1, you see... Excuse me. From episode 1, you see loss on unprecedented levels, all the way up until the very end, where loss is a necessity in order to move towards a better future for everybody. With peace. They're trying to be peaceful. The same can be applied to real life. Loss is something we all go through, and for the younger generation to see that even the characters they look up to experience hardship and loss in one way or another is very important to show that it happens to the best of us. It really does. And with that, I think that's very important, that it's okay. It's just a part of the cycle of life. So anyway, Shonen is not shy about wearing its morals and themes on its sleeve. It's just not. With themes like friendship and loyalty and personal growth, fucking all that shit, character development, it's all really important, always in your face, and that's why I think Shonen is really good for kids. Because it gives you a really nice story, something that you can follow, that isn't too overly mature for kids to really understand, but at the same time, it has all this flash and pizzazz that really hooks your attention, and even a lot of adults, including myself, still find enjoyment in watching Shonen. Now, with that being said, a little bit of damage control. Hey, yo, some of these shows, bro, they are not for, like, little kids, bro. Like there's a lot of booba. There's a lot of booba in a lot of these shows, so just be careful. But, like, you know, just gotta throw out that parental advisory, you know, that TV PG to TV 14 shit. That's what we on right now, so just watch out, all right? Now, get out of here, you little scoundrels. Go watch yourself some anime, and hope you have a good rest of your day. I got these fucking Guitar Hero pajama pants on, bitch.